Hello there, boys and girls. This is Mr. Lerma. We're going to end the week with 1 point perspective, and I'm going to just do a quick refresher and recap of Vanishing Point, and then next week we will move on to a different phase with another type of art. So um, we're going to start again with the 1 point in the middle, and then you're going to make some squares. Doesn't matter how big you make them. Don't try to make them so big. Just a comfortable size, not so big. Just enough so we can have space in between. And again, if you recall, we are working with line control, line balance, line direction, and all of those combined build our motor skill development. I'm hoping that you've been working on your projects. Thanks to those students who've been answering questions, or asking me questions. I did have a student that had asked me to do a project all over again, and I'm gonna do that just for that student. That was a special request. So I'll be making an additional project of one of our past projects that we did, just to refresh the memory. And thank you to the student that asked to redo that project. So I'll be happy to do that. All right, so I made some squares all over the page. And again, if you recall, all your points go to the vanishing point. So we're just gonna make the lines, all the corner points as best as you can. Okay, just like that. Lines don't have to be perfect, but we want to make an effort to make them as straight as we can so they can go to that one vanishing point that we have been talking about. Okay, so it's going a little bit faster than normal because just pretty much a recap. Now the top points and the sides, these right here, you can't really see that third point because they're at the top or at the bottom or in the sides. Okay, now so from this point, oh, forgot this one here. And that, oh yeah, and this side. I guess I'm just so into the project that I don't pay attention to that's on the opposite side of the page. All right, so we have a bunch of squares with a bunch of lines. So at this point, I'm gonna take one of my markers that's kind of worn out, and I'm gonna begin doing the shading to give it some highlights. And this is why I like to save all of my Sharpies, even though that they're worn out, because it allows me to give you a different shading. You can probably, if you have markers or colored pencil crayons, you can do that. I like to use a Sharpie because it gives it that nice shading to it. And there we go, not bad. Now we do the sides. Now we're going to work on the inside part of it. So we're going to do this one here and then this one here. Same process. We color it in. And this Sharpie, I think it reached the max limit. It is out, so I'm going to have to use another one. This one's a little better. Here we go. And the shading just gives the cubes um, that dimensional look that we're looking for, that vanishing point. Now this is where your creativity begins. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Sharpie with a fine point tip so I can give you a different perspective. So I'm going to try to make the lines parallel to this, just to give you that nice look. And if you notice, I'm holding the pen way up here. It allows me to move my hand a little bit more freely, and at the same time it lets me control the pen a little bit better. Now we do this side. And if you want to use different colors, you're welcome to do so. I just like to use the Sharpie because the contrast on the video is very good. Same thing with this side. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of cross hatching here just to give it a little bit more contrast. Should be this way. You know, this one's, I think what I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna use my darker Sharpie. I think it'll look up better if I color this whole line in versus yeah, I think that's gonna work even better. Alright, so this will show that this is the bottom part of it, of the cube. We'll do the opposite side, same thing. Alright, not bad. And I think I'm gonna color these in. I think that'll look a lot better if I color them in. All the way down. And all this week we've been working with 1-point perspective, vanishing point. I think we have done enough projects to understand how 1-point perspective works. I have given you a variety of projects. Some have more than others, but we'll take it in steps. We'll take it in steps and work our way towards it. Now these here, I think I'm going to use the fine point tip to give you a different perspective, a different way of looking at the project. And this just going to help separate the contrast between projects. All right, not bad, looking good. So I'm hoping that your projects are helping you out on with your art creativity. We'll finish this side. And look where I'm holding the Sharpie. Okay, it's right above, not all the way down here, because it's very difficult to make all those lines. If you hold it up high, it allows you more freedom. To shade your lines. And I'm making a great effort to stay within the lines, but even myself, I get out of the line. All right, so there you go. This is the 1-point perspective, vanishing point. Very simple, quick project. It's the recap of what we have worked on all week this week. Now, what do I say? What are we missing again? That's right, the signature. Again, there it is. I hope you like it. That's the lesson, and enjoy.